What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Iron Maiden, and indeed we're back with a tune from their Somewhere in Time album. I already reacted to sort of the title track, Caught Somewhere in Time. Really do love that track. Go check out the reaction if you're interested. But we're going to listen to a tune that's the end tune of the album, whereas Caught Somewhere in Time is the opening tune of the album. We're going to listen to Alexander the Great. This tune is fantastic. I really do enjoy the music, especially. It has this great progression, and there's this interlude in the middle where the guitars sort of riff and get this really sort of I don't know if it's harmonic, but this real sort of lyrical quality. I really love that part, and ultimately it is a great historical story. It's the broad outlines of the history of Alexander the Great, his military victories, his different campaigns, attempting to invade India but ultimately turning back because his troops wanted to go home, and ultimately dying of fever in Babylon, which that all really happened. I did remember in the Hallowed Be Thy Name reaction I was saying, there's a line where he paved the way for Christianity. I sort of felt when I was reacting to that, and I was just talking about this other song that I hadn't even reacted to yet, I was saying it felt sort of teleological, but I do remember someone talking about this song and saying, well, it's like it was a sort of more Western way of life, this Hellenistic culture, so even though it was different from what would come hundreds of years later in the form of Christianity, it sort of set the stage for that to happen in what we now call the Near East, or Western Asia. So yeah, bottom line, my comment in that other video notwithstanding, I really do love the way the story unfolds and the way they describe the different aspects of his impact on the entire region that his empire eventually covered. Though, as many people will know, shortly after his death, the empire sort of descended into a series of civil wars that tore apart any sort of semblance of hegemonic unity among the empire. Nevertheless, this is a classic example, yet another one from Iron Maiden, of a narrative story. It just really is a storytelling song. So without further ado, let's listen to it. This is Alexander the Great by Iron Maiden on their album Somewhere in Time, which is what is this? Just want to make sure I have this right. This is 1986. Yeah, it was released in 1986. And just for the record, Alexander the Great lived 356 to 323 BC. So here we go, Alexander the Great by Iron Maiden on their album Somewhere in Time, 1986.
My son, ask for thyself another kingdom, for that which I leave is too small for thee.
That opening is a little hot, I apologize. I've mentioned it before, my turntables are sort of set to the perfect sound level, but the CD output gets hot sometimes. For the record, this is the CD. Very marching quality, right? And you're traversing distance. Oh. Their ability to change tempos and time signatures on the blink of an eye is just crazy. easy material to sing rhythmically and like in melody. Shout out to Bruce. Insurgency! His troops were famously loyal, though again, he may have been poisoned. Historical, medical, or physiology is not easy, but his plan eventually was to make Babylon his capital. This is the part. Again, when I was first listening to Iron Maiden, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I had no idea they had this just... I mean, I knew they did guitar solos, but their instrumental interludes and the way they evolve, the dynamism, is unbelievable. This is a great example. Right as I said that, I was like, oh wait, yeah, there's another shift coming. Oh. Another sort of tempo shift, another different percussive arrangement. Oh, and some wicked guitar too. Multiple guitars in harmony, right? Or is that the keyboard in a guitar? I know there are keyboards on this album. Solos interrupted by like a syncopated percussion flourish at the measure break, right back into a solo. The precision is remarkable. Oh my God. It's wailing. I think of the phrase like a guitar wailing. That's the sound I think of. Oh my God. And then right back into it. As if they didn't just drop the craziest like instrumental solo section you've ever heard. historical records indicate that his troops wanted to go home, and ultimately he was sympathetic to that. But by the time they got back to Babylon, he had fallen ill. Yep. He really did. Another historical lesson provided by Iron Maiden. Amazing. As I said, when I first got back into Iron Maiden, or first decided to do this deep dive on Iron Maiden a few years back, part of what had sort of sealed the deal for me is that their songs really were in a much more diverse lyrical array of sources and source material than I ever would have expected, whether it's history, again, philosophy, just the number of topics that they broach, but in particular, as a historian, the more and more I listen to their lyrics, the more and more I realize they're speaking to historical events and figures and so on. It just really, made me excited because, again, I remember reading when I began listening to them. I remember I heard Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and that really hit me strongly. And I remember reading some anecdote online about, like, they were talking about Samuel Coleridge, and they were talking about his poetry, and someone said a line from the Iron Maiden song during this, college course, and someone else said the next line, and soon there were like 4 or 5 people who were basically singing one of the verses. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah, we historians do get excited and a bit nerdy when popular music, or indeed like underground music, references things that we study in an academic sense. So like I said, shout out to Iron Maiden for their lyrics, for their music, for the solos, for the composition of this tune. I like the length of the tune. Ending the album with this tune is a great choice. So its placement, in this larger work of art is also excellent. Holy crap, I'm gonna spill tea. But yeah, I just think it's a brilliant song. Let me know what you think. I mentioned it before, I really do like this album. I talked about it on another one, that, Bruce, wasn't so thrilled with this album by the time it came out because he hadn't really contributed as much as he had wanted and so on. But I do think it's a fantastic album, so we'll be back for at least 1 or 2 more on this. But I do want to jump around, so I'm guessing the next one will be from a different album. But let me know if you have any Iron Maiden songs that you'd like to see reacted to. Let me know if you just have something to say about Iron Maiden or one of their albums, one of their songs. Really love to hear from the Maiden fans out there. There's someone, Doc Shelley, he's been commenting on the videos lately. Just a top person, really enjoy the level of interaction. And oh, by the way, he's a Subhumans fan too. So shout out, yeah, anyone who likes both the Subhumans and Iron Maiden, you're a cool person in my book. So thank you for commenting on some of the videos. More Iron Maiden reactions coming. Thank you for listening and watching. I do appreciate it. Have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.